Snow has a way of making the world quiet, like it's holding its breath. That night, the street was a page of white, and I was just a man walking across it, heading nowhere in particular. My scarf was tight around my neck, my gloves warm, but the wind still found a way in. That's when I saw her. She was sitting on the edge of the bus stop bench, knees pulled close, arms wrapped around them like she was trying to hold herself together. Her lace dress was thin, summer clothes in a winter storm, and her bare feet were pressed into the snow. It clung to her skin, melting into tiny rivers down her ankles. Her hair, tangled with flakes, looked like it belonged in another life, a life far from here. I slowed my pace, but before I could call out, a small figure broke into the scene. A little girl, no more than 3, waddled through the snow in a red winter coat and a gray pom-pom hat. Her boots crunched with each determined step. In her hands, she clutched a small, crumpled paper bag. She stopped right in front of the barefoot woman. The girl held out the bag like it was treasure. "Here," she said softly. "It's my last cookie. You can have it." The woman, startled, lifted her head slowly. I saw her face then. Pale, yes, but with eyes that had once been bright enough to warm a room. Now they were tired, the kind of tired you don't fix with sleep. "What's your name?" the little girl asked. The woman hesitated, like even her name had been taken from her. Finally, she whispered, "Serena." The little girl gave a small, confident nod. "You need a home, and I need a mommy." Those words hit me like a snowball to the chest, sharp, unexpected, leaving me breathless. Serena froze, her lips parting as if those simple words had cracked something deep inside her. And I just stood there in the falling snow, unable to move, because somehow I knew, right there in that moment, that none of us were walking away from this night the same. I don't usually get involved in strangers' stories, but that night, something about the scene in front of me wouldn't let me keep walking. A little girl offering her last cookie to a barefoot woman in the snow. It wasn't something you just passed by. I stepped closer, my boots crunching on the frozen pavement. "Hey," I said gently, keeping my voice low so I wouldn't scare them. "You two okay out here?" The little girl turned first, her cheeks pink from the cold. She studied me for a second, then looked back at Serena as if deciding whether I was safe. "She's cold," the girl said matter-of-factly, "and she needs shoes. And maybe a hug." Serena didn't look at me right away. Her eyes stayed on the snow, her thin fingers curling tighter around her knees. She looked fragile, like one wrong word could shatter her. I took off my scarf and held it out. "Here," I said. "It's clean. Warm too." She hesitated, then reached for it slowly, like she wasn't sure she was allowed to take it. When the wool touched her shoulders, I saw the smallest shiver pass through her. Not from the cold this time, but from the shock of unexpected kindness. "What's your name?" I asked her. "Serena," she murmured again, and something about the way she said it made me feel like I was being trusted with something rare. The little girl looked up at me with the seriousness only a child can pull off. "I'm Pip. You can call me that if you want. It's short for Pippa, but that's a secret. Okay?" I smiled. "Secret's safe with me, Pip." She nodded, satisfied. Then she held the paper bag out towards Serena again. "It's still warm inside. I think cookies like being eaten while they're warm." Serena took it carefully, broke the cookie in half, and gave the bigger piece back to Pip. "That's not how it works," Pip complained softly. "That's how it works with me," Serena replied, her lips curling into the faintest smile. The snow kept falling around us, soft and slow. Cars passed by, but it felt like we were in a different world. Just 3 people, a paper bag, and a moment that was far too gentle for a night this cold. "Listen," I said finally, There's a diner around the corner. Heat, food, hot chocolate. Let me take you both there. Pip grinned. Hot chocolate with floating things? Marshmallows, I said. Absolutely. Serena's eyes flicked up to meet mine for the first time, and I saw it, hesitation tangled with hope. She didn't say yes, but she didn't say no either. So I held out my hand, not rushing her. Pip took it immediately, her little mitten warm in mine. And when Serena finally stood, slipping her cold fingers into my other hand, I knew we'd just taken the first step into a story none of us saw coming. The bell over the diner door gave a tired jingle when we stepped inside. Warmth hit us immediately. Thick, greasy, wonderful warmth that smelled of coffee, grilled onions, and something sweet baking in the back. Pip ran ahead, climbing into a booth like she'd been here 100 times. Serena hesitated at the threshold, looking around like the room might reject her. I gave her the gentlest nod I could, the kind you give to a skittish bird, and finally she stepped in. We slid into the booth, Pip against the wall, Serena across from me. She kept adjusting my scarf on her shoulders, almost like she was afraid of creasing it. The waitress, a woman with hair piled high and a pen tucked behind her ear, came over. Cold night out there, she said, glancing between us. What can I get you? 3 hot chocolates, I said, with marshmallows, and whatever soup's the warmest. Good choice, the waitress said, scribbling it down before moving away. Pip leaned forward, resting her chin on her fists. I told you, she said to Serena. Hot chocolate makes bad days better. Serena's lips twitched in the smallest of smiles. It's been a long time since I had one. I wanted to ask how long, but something in her voice told me not to. The waitress returned with 3 steaming mugs, marshmallows bobbing on top like tiny white clouds. Pip immediately started stirring hers until the chocolate turned a lighter brown. Serena just wrapped her hands around the cup, letting the heat seep in, but didn't drink yet. What happened to your shoes? Pip asked, blunt as only a child can be. Serena's gaze dropped to the table. I was traveling light, she said softly. Too light. I frowned. Traveling from where? She paused for a long moment, as if weighing her words. Somewhere I couldn't stay. That was all she gave me, but the way she said it, it wasn't just about a place. It was about a person. The soups arrived, steam curling up between us. Pip dunked her marshmallows into hers without hesitation, humming a little tune as she ate. Serena took slow, careful sips, like each one needed permission. Pip broke the quiet again. When I said I need a mommy, I didn't mean you have to be one right away, she told Serena matter-of-factly. You can practice first. Serena blinked, startled, and then something softened in her expression. So quick. I might have missed it if I wasn't watching. I've never been anyone's mother, she whispered. That's okay, Pip said. I never been anyone's kid except my dad's, and I'm still learning too. I felt something in my chest tighten. There was more to this night than just a warm meal and a kind gesture. Something told me we were about to get pulled into a story that had been waiting far too long to be told. And in that moment, as the snow kept falling outside, I decided I wasn't going to let either of them face it alone. I woke up to the sound of snowplows scraping the street outside my apartment. For a moment, I lay still, staring at the pale light filtering through the blinds, and wondered if last night had been some strange dream. But then I remembered Pip's serious little face, Serena's trembling hands, and the faint scent of my scarf, now resting on her shoulders. I grabbed my coat and headed to the small boutique hotel across the street where I'd booked them a room. The receptionist nodded toward the lobby. Pip was sitting cross-legged on the carpet near the piano, pretending to type on the keys without pressing them. Serena was by the window, staring out at the white morning. When she saw me, her eyes flickered, relief mixed with wariness. "Morning," I said gently. "I brought breakfast. Pancakes. The banana kind." Pip scrambled to her feet. "Agent Watson keeps his promises," she announced proudly. "I told you." I smiled, handing her the takeout box. She tore into it with the enthusiasm only a child can muster. Serena sat back down on the couch, hands curled in her lap. "You didn't have to come back," she said quietly. "Yes," I replied. "I did." For a long moment, she didn't say anything. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she began. "I left home 3 months ago. My partner wasn't who I thought he was. Controlling. Always needing to know where I was, who I spoke to. One day, he told me he'd decided my future for me. He called it security. I called it a cage." Her fingers tightened around the edge of her sleeve. "I tried to leave twice. Failed both times. This time, I got as far as the city. Sold my coat to pay for a bus. I thought I could disappear." She let out a bitter laugh. "But you can't disappear when someone is looking for you with enough money to light the sky." I felt my jaw tighten. "Is he dangerous?" She nodded once. "In ways that don't leave marks." I sat forward. "You don't have to go back. We can figure something out." "Watson," she interrupted, meeting my eyes. "You don't even know me. Why would you want to help?" I thought about that for a moment. "Because last night, a little girl told you she needed a mommy. And I think, maybe she's not the only one who needs someone." Something shifted in her gaze. Not trust, not yet, but the beginning of it. Pip returned to the couch with syrup on her cheek and plopped down beside Serena. "So," she said between bites, "are you staying with us or what?" Serena glanced at me, then at Pip, and a small, almost shy smile tugged at her lips. "I guess I could try. For a little while." Pip beamed. "Good, because I already decided you're in our team." The snow outside began to melt in the morning sun, and for the first time in what felt like years, Serena Vale didn't look like she was running. And as for me, I knew this wasn't the end of the story. It was just the moment we decided to write the next chapter. Together.